Dear students, this is the second part of our chapter working with windows. Dear students, this is a window. This is a window means it is a part. It is known as window, which is showing the our internal spacing and partitions of our computer, which is my computer actually. So it is a drive C, it is drive local drive D, local drive E, and it is a exploring panel. So in this second part of this chapter, we will discuss about the windows. Now before moving forward, I would like you to know that how we can open a window. Opening a window can be done in three ways. There are three ways. Number one is you can double click on the icon present on the desktop. The icon which is already present on the desktop, you can double click on it. And here remember how you can double click it: by rapidly clicking the left side button of your mouse. By rapidly clicking 2 times the left side button of your mouse, you can double click. By double clicking on an icon of the program or a file, you can open up a window of that file, of that program. You can select a file or program from the start menu. That's the second way. By clicking upon the start button, there will appear a menu, and from that menu you can select that program. You can click on it. By pointing and clicking, you can open up that file, and eventually the window will be opened of that particular file. You can type the name of the file or program in using a search feature. At the taskbar, there is a search button, in which you can type the name of the file or a program or an application, and after typing, when you will press enter, you will see an opening window of that file or a program. What is a window? It is the main question. It is not the windows. We are not here talking about the windows. Windows means Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows XP or Windows 7. Here we are talking about a window which is like a frame. Now a window is a rectangular area that displays a document or a program. It is the main point to remember. It is a window. Window means a frame. A window is a rectangular area that displays a document or program. Several overlapping windows can be opened at the same time. That means we can open multiple windows at the same time. You can open let's say file A, file B, file C, drive D, and inside drive D you can open few folders, few files at the same time. All those windows will be opened, but they will be overlapped on each other, but they will be opened at the same time. And the window which is on top of all will be known as active window. The window which is on top of all windows is known as active window, and all other windows which are beneath the active window are known as inactive windows. Here is a title bar. Title bar is the front and top portion of the any window which has been opened. For example, if you open a window of my computer, there will be a title bar appearing like that. This is the example of title bar. This is the title bar basically. Now in title bar there is always mentioned the name of the file, name of the program, name of the folder, or name of the application, and there are control buttons, and if there is any other information regarding that file or program. For example, sometime some program or application is not responding, So there will be written statement is not responding, or program is not responding. That means server is too low, or processor is not processor is low, and processor is not picking up the speed or an application tasks. So all that information is appeared at this top. Here is the name of the file, name of the folder or drive or application or anything, and they are control buttons. Control buttons of this is the close button, this is maximize button, this is restore button. Moving to the maximize button, remember this is the maximize button. This one here is a maximize button. Clicking on maximize button on the title bar, it enlarges the window to fit the screen. That means if the window is not completely on the screen and it has occupied half screen, it is partially appearing on the screen. If you will click on the maximize button, it will fit to the screen. The maximize buttons then becomes a restore button, and that button will change. That box will be changed into small two boxes overlapping each other, which will represent the restoration command, which means that this button is now ready for restoration command. And when this button is like that, it means now this button is welcoming you to maximize the window to fit to the full screen. The maximize buttons, they becomes restore buttons after making it full screen. Clicking on restore button returns the window to its previous size. That means partially on the screen. Then there comes the minimize button. Here minimize button is this button, this underscore button, or you can say a minus sign button. This button is a minimize button. Now in the minimize button, what you can do with the help of this button, clicking on the minimize button reduces the window to a tab on the taskbar. Clicking on the tab returns the window to its original size. That means if your window is either on the half screen or it is fitted to full screen, when you will click on this button, it will move down to the taskbar at the bottom of your desktop, down to the taskbar here somewhere, and making a tab instead of a window, because previously it was in the form of a window, either it was a half screen window or a full screen window, but now it is in the form of tab, and the tab is present on the taskbar, and it has happened because we have clicked on that minimize button. Clicking on the minimize button reduces the window to a tab on the taskbar. Clicking on the tab returns the window to its original size. And when you will click the tab, which was present on the desktop here somewhere, which was present on the taskbar at the bottom of the desktop, when you will click that tab, it will again become the window. And then comes close button. Close button will close the window when we will click on it. When we will click on this close button, it will closes the window. Now there are some other things regarding title bar. There are title bar options, ribbons, and tabs and groups. Ribbons are, the ribbon is a horizontal strip below the title bar. It is a horizontal strip below the title bar. Just below the title bar, there is a portion which is known as ribbons, and it contains tools and commands that we need to work on the specific program or application. Whatever we want to do, and within the specific program or application, Within that specific program or application, all the required commands or tools regarding that program or application, we will find all these tools and commands in those ribbons. Tabs and groups. The ribbon is organized into several tabs. This ribbon is basically consist of different tabs, and these tabs are basically a menu. It is a menu in which there are various options available to select from. Each tab contains a number of groups that contain the commands and tools that are needed. Related commands and tools are placed in the same group, and different commands are placed in different groups to make it easier for us to find them. For example, if we place the font face, font size, font color all in one tab of font, it will be easier for us whenever we are trying to design our writing, our text. We will know that we have to go to the tab of font, group of font. Okay, now there are scroll bars. Scroll bars are basically two bars, which one is at the horizontal side, right side of the page, main screen, and main screen of the windows, and other is at the bottom. The horizontal, the vertical scroll bar is uh, on the right side of the window, and the horizontal scroll bar is at the bottom of the window, and it is used for scroll bars are enable the user to move from top to bottom and move left to right or right to left in the window. Then it comes the status bar. Status bar is a horizontal strip at the bottom of the window. It gives information about the status of the file or a program. File or a program means whatever is opened, whichever windows is open, all the information regarding that will be appearing. All the information means which page is opened, how many words have been written there, how many things either it is open, either it is active or inactive. All this kind of information will be appearing on the status bar, which is at the bottom of the window. Dear students, now we are at the third and final part of this chapter, and that third and final part of the chapter is files and folders. How can we create the files and folders? How can we copy the files from each folder to another folder? How can we cut them? How can we drag them? And how can we create a file? How can we move, copy, all these things? How can we cut? All these things are going to be covered in this part of the chapter. This is the last part of your chapter. Now, before moving forward, I will have to tell you, and I will have to explain you what is file and folder, starting with the very basic and very you can say initial definition, that is, a computer's file is a space on the computer's hard disk to store data. We can give a suitable name to a file. File is basically allocation of a space for anything on our hard drive, anything on a hard disk in which we are going to store data. Whenever we create it, it is a basically space allocation on our computer. When we are allocating a space in our computer for some particular thing, that means we have created a file. And what is folder? A folder is a group of related files, all the files which are related, all the same kind of files, when they are combined, they are collected and they are bring together, it become a group, and this group is known as a folder. You keep all the files of same kind in a folder. Now we are coming to the processes. Now we will have to remember the steps. The steps are basically the steps, all the steps are present um, in written form in your books, and it is here in the lecture, and I will definitely give you some videos in which I will demonstrate all these steps through the practical examples. That means if we want to create a file, how will we create a file? All these steps we are going to go through now through the text, but later on you will receive the videos of the practical demonstrations of how we can do all these tasks. Like for example, consider how to create a file. Now for creating a file, here we will have to assume that we are talking about creating a Word file, a Microsoft Word file for being more specific. To create a Microsoft Word file, what we will have to do is we will have to go to the desktop and right click. Desktop, an empty space of a desktop. You already know what desktop is and how does it look like. You will right click on the desktop and you will go to the new Microsoft Word document like that. Consider this is your desktop. You will right click on it and there will appear a menu like this. In it you are going to click on new, then you will click on Microsoft Word document. You will click on new. After clicking on new, you will click on Microsoft Word document. After clicking on this document, there will appear a file. To save the file, go to the file menu and click on save as. Name the file and select the folder in which you want to save it. When you will name the file, you will have to type in the text, whatever you want, however you want to name that file. You can give a suitable name to it. You will type a text and then you will browse the folder in your computer's hard drive, wherever you want to store it. You will browse it to there and you will click on save. In this way you can create a new Word file, and you have already created a one. Now there is a second part, second process, that is how to create a folder. How to create a folder. Let me show you with the help of a diagram first. Here is your desktop and you have just right clicked there, and upon right clicking there appears a menu like that. On it you will click on the new, then you have to go on to the sub menu part and sub menu heading folder. When you will click on the folder, there will appear a folder which will ask you to give a suitable name. Now we must go through the text. Press the right hand button on the mouse, that is you will have to right click. A menu opens on the desktop. Move the pointer to new to highlight it, as I have shown you in the diagram. Here is new and here is your pointer. This opens another menu. This is another menu. This menu is another menu. This was the main menu which was opened upon right clicking the desktop, and this is the another menu. This opens another menu. Click on folder. An icon of folder is created on the desktop. Type a name in the box below the icon to give a folder a name. Give the folder a name. When you double click on the icon, a window opens. That means now you are trying to open the newly created folder. and when you try to open it you will have to double click on it. And you know what is double clicking? By rapidly clicking the left hand side of your mouse button 2 times, that is a double click. When you will double click on that folder it will be empty because it is newly created folder, and normally there is nothing present in newly created folder and it is always empty. There is another way to create a file. We have just studied the way to create a file, one way to create a file. Then we have studied the way to create a folder, new folder, and now we are studying another way to create a file. Let's have a look at that process. Press the right hand button of the mouse, a menu opens on the desktop. Take a pointer to the new, this opens another menu. Take a pointer to the Microsoft Word document and click on it. An icon Word document is created on the desktop. So familiar, we have studied that process just few minutes ago. Type the name in the box below an icon to give a document a name. When you double click on the icon, a window opens showing the contents of the document. A new document is empty, so you will see a blank document because there is no text has been entered yet in that Word document. It is a new document, it is a new file, new Microsoft Word document, and it will normally be empty. That was the part where we have created file, how we have created a Word file and how we have created a folder. Now there comes another part of this chapter, and that part is how you can copy a file or folder to a different location. That means when you have one file placed in some location, in some place in your hard drive, and you want to copy that file somewhere else in your hard drive, how will you do that? Suppose here, with the help of an example, suppose you have two folders. One folder's name is write and one folder's name is byte. And what are folders? We have just studied them, and how we can create folders, we have also studied them. Now, the write folder considers a file called test. Test is the name of the file which is present somewhere in write folder. You want to have a copy of this file in the byte folder. Now what I want is, I want to have the copy of this file in byte folder as well, because it is already in the write folder, and I want another copy of this test file in byte folder. Now how will I do that, and how will you do that? There is a way. Select the file test. We will have to select it. In active window, write is the active window because we have just opened the write folder. So write is the active window. In that active window, we have selected the test file which was already there. By clicking on its icon, right click on the icon to open a menu. Upon right clicking the test file, I will move my cursor pointer to the test file and I will right click on it. Move the pointer to the copy and click on it. When I will right click on the test file. There will appear a menu, and in that menu there will be a button of option of copy. What we have to do is we have to click on copy. Now select the inactive window. Byte folder was already opened. Byte folder was already opened by us. but it was in inactive window. So now, because we have copied the test file copied the test file from the right folder, now we are moving to byte folder. We will select the byte folder, and upon clicking the byte folder, when byte folder will be active, we will right click on the empty space in a byte folder. When we will right click on it, there will be there will be appearing a menu, and in this from this menu we will have to click on the paste. We will have to click on the paste. By clicking upon the paste, the test file, which was previously in the right folder, now it has now it has also been placed in the byte folder by doing this all process. Now, how can we drag a file or a folder to a different location? That means we have to drag a file or folder to a different location. Previously it was somewhere else, and now we want it to go somewhere else. How can we do that? We can do that by following these steps. And these steps are: you might wish to move a file or a folder to a new folder without keeping a copy of the original folder. That means now we don't want that our original copy should stay there, but we want to move it at all. We want to move it at all. That means we don't want it to be present on the previous location as well, but we want it to move its location. We want to change its location. What we'll do, we will click on the icon of the file test, which was present where? That was placed in the folder named as right. Do you remember in the previous example? The test file which was present in the folder right. Now we want to move it to the folder byte, but without having its original copy in the right folder, but just changing its position, changing its location at all. What we will do, we will right click, or we will click on that test file, and we will not release the button. We will not leave the click. We will drag that clicked button along with our movement of our finger, and we will open the window byte, move in the window byte, and we when upon reaching inside that folder of byte, we will release that button. When we will release the button, that test file which was previously placed in the right folder, now it has moved from right to byte folder, and now it is not present in right folder because we have changed its location. There is another way. We can move a file or folder without dragging it. We can also move a file or folder without dragging it. Without dragging it means, now we will try some different process. Okay, let's have a look at a different process. What is it? If you want to move a file or a folder to another location without dragging it, what will you do? Select the file test from the inactive window right by clicking on its icon, and right click the icon to open a menu. From that menu, move the pointer to cut. In the previous method, what you did was you dragged the test file from right folder to byte folder. Now you are not dragging it, but you are right clicking on that test file and there will appear a menu. From menu you have to click on cut. Cut means now this test file is being erased from that location because you are cutting it from there. When you will click on the cut, now you move to the folder byte. When you will click on the folder byte and in upon reaching inside that folder byte, what you will do, you will right click an empty space to open a menu, and a menu will be showing the option of paste. You have to click on the paste option. When you will click on the paste option, the test file which was cut from the folder right, it was removed from that folder when we clicked on cut, but it was stored in the RAM. Now we have clicked on the paste option inside the byte folder. So from the right folder, now this file is moved to the byte folder. There is there is a way of deleting a file or a folder. Mm, to delete a file means to remove it from the computer memory, but it will initially go to the recycle bin from where we can restore it. And if we want to delete it permanently, we can also do that. But normally when we delete a file or a folder, it first time it goes initially to the recycle bin, from where we can delete it permanently and from where we can restore it as well. Select the file or folder by clicking on its icon. Right click the icon to open a menu. Move the pointer to delete and click on it. Click on the Yes tab. Now there is a window, or there is a pop-up box which is asking for your permission if you really want to delete it or not. If you will click on the Yes button, Yes tab in the box that appears, then it will delete the file or the folder. We can also delete an object by selecting it and pressing it, the delete key. That is a shortcut way. You can select that object which you want to delete and then press the delete key which is present in your keyboard. So dear students, that was all about the theory of that chapter. That was all about the text of your chapter. Now we will discuss the question and answers of the exercise and MCQs and filling in the blanks. So until next time, please take care. Allah Hafiz.